That was spot on.
Nice.
I don't know if it was for you, but it was for me.
No, but my hand hurts now, so that's how I know we've done it well. Because if my hand hurts, we've got the clap right. I don't like it when we can see each other.
All right, there you go.
But now you can still see me.
Not if I minimise the window. And now I don't have to worry.
Up in a little window. Outside your window.
So this is the last one.
Of this year.
Well, no, ever. This is how I'm telling you I'm leaving.
Oh, but can we still record the next one?
Yeah,
Later
right
on, straight after this one.
Immediately after this. Okay, fine, we can do that. Actually, I am going to need some time to narrow down my shows for the next one.
I know, it's been overall very good year.
I think it's probably been... We're recording the second one first, is what we're doing now. We're talking about the year as a whole.
Yeah. Well, I remember 1899. It was a year I remember fondly. I was 9.
Yeah, I was going to say. Is that we're starting with that one, are we? All right.
It was the best segue I could think of.
It wasn't that good. All right, okay. 1899 then. You tell me, what is 1899 all about?
There's a boat.
Good start.
And some
When's
stuff
it set?
happens.
When's it set?
Oh, that is the question.
Do you know, funny enough, it probably is, because this is made by the people who brought us Dark. And as we know, Dark goes fucking everywhere.
Well, I don't know that. I've only seen the first episode. The first episode, first season.
Same.
The end of that is, yeah. Time.
This is the thing that I was thinking about. So while I was watching this, I was thinking about Dark, because there's a few people who should crop up in both. I really wish I hadn't stopped with Dark, because going back to it now, I feel like it's going to be impenetrable.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing that I sort of wish I hadn't put this down after the first episode. I know for the purposes of the podcast, that was the right thing to do. But
well, I mean, you've only got is it 2 series of TV to go until you've watched 100 seasons of TV this year?
I know. And
there you go. This can be one of them.
Come Thursday, that'll be one to go, because Taskmaster finishes this week.
It does. We're behind. We're trying to catch up.
Oh, that's good. I was about to be like, it's heating up for the championship.
Is it?
I say heating up. I don't think. I think it's not really changed. But
good. Really heating up then. So 1899. There is a ship named Prometheus, which has gone missing 4 months prior to where we find ourselves aboard the Kerberos.
Yeah,
which sounds a
ship
bit
called the Prometheus
like...
going missing is very familiar.
It is very familiar, but more than anything, this kind of reminded me of... Have you seen the film Event Horizon?
I haven't, but I can tell you there are 5 points in it for Taskmaster.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about. That's quite close. So the Kerberos, upon which we have a whole host of characters, most of whom seem to be running away from something, because there is a point where a distress signal is received by the captain on the ship, and he changes course, because obviously if you hear a distress signal, you are obliged to go and investigate. And almost everyone panics, saying, "We're not going back, are we?" So there is a Spanish couple. There is is she a German doctor? Well, she's a psychologist, but she's used as like the ship's doctor.
Yeah, I think
There,
I can't remember. I thought she was British.
is she British? A neurologist, one of the first female doctors in the UK. Oh, sorry, yeah, no, the captain's... Is the captain German? Lucien. Oh no, Lucien's the French couple who clearly are having massive issues.
No, I think it all seems fine.
There are two Chinese women who are disguising themselves as Japanese. One of them dresses as a geisha. So pretty much everyone
is lying.
Everybody is lying, and everybody's trying to pass themselves off as someone else. And then they receive a distress signal in what they believe to be a similar region to where this ship, the Prometheus, disappeared. So they go and investigate. And I gotta say, like, I don't fully understand how they do this, but given that it's the same people who created Dark, their sense of pacing is unbelievable. And I think we're going to touch back on pacing when we talk about Archive 81. But at no point was I worried about, this is taking a while. Because it does take time to introduce you to all the characters before it goes, okay, well, here's the distress signal, and, we're going to go and investigate this ship that's gone missing. But I was completely wrapped up in it. I was completely immersed in it. I wasn't looking at my watch thinking, come on, this has got to hurry up a bit. They make extremely compelling TV, this team. So I for me now, they're a mark of quality, and I'll watch anything they make.
Yeah, for a bit until it gets too confusing, then you'll stop.
Yeah, or I just won't, because I say this all the time. I'm gonna watch this, and then I don't.
Yeah, I mean, how's Channel Zero coming?
Yeah, it's a long time in the making, isn't it? What did you think of? Maybe that's how we get. Actually, you say that Channel Zero, I watched all of except for the final episode of the first series. So
feels like a weirder place to stop than after the first episode.
It is, but annoyingly, it doesn't keep up the momentum from that first episode.
Oh, that's the thing. I think it's because you were talking to me about how the rest of the season was.
Yeah, it doesn't keep up with the amazing opening that it has.
Yeah, which sort of put me off a little bit, so I didn't watch the rest of it.
I'm not surprised, to be fair. I would like to go back through it and watch some more of it, but then like you say, I say this all the time and never do. So
yeah, I mean, I think I'll probably watch some more of this, but I just really liked how they didn't let you know everything. They didn't let you know everything about like a character, but they let you know little bits and pieces about each of the characters, so that you're not, I guess, so that you don't do what you do a bit with Game of Thrones, where you're just like, I don't really give a shit about this character, show me what the other characters are doing. So with this, I think whichever character a scene or sequence is focusing on, you're still bought in.
Yeah,
you're not trying to get to the next bit of a story that you're interested in. I imagine there'll be characters that you sort of start to dislike, and I think they'll probably be French.
Yes, I really don't like that guy. Yeah, so this is the guy who blames his wife for his own impotence and says, look, we know this isn't a real marriage. It was an arrangement by our parents. Yeah, he's not a nice guy. But at the end of that scene where he has a go at her, she has this weird look on her face like, haha, I got him exactly where I want him. Or at least that's what I interpret it to be, is like she knows that she's getting to him, and that's sort of her plan all along.
Yeah, I don't think I picked up on that, but
also it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, I did watch it the day it came out in the hope that we might record this sooner, but life happens.
Yeah, it's weirdly, like, I find myself not wanting to say too much about it because, well, actually, having said that, we probably can say as much as we want about it because we know at the end of the first episode, you only know a fraction more than what you knew at the start of the first episode.
The only thing that you really know is that the Prometheus hasn't sunk.
Yes. And it's also still. Someone comments saying, like, look, the water's not moving around it. It's just sat there.
And I think also for a ship that's been only missing for like, what, a month at most?
4 months it's gone.
Okay, I was just thinking, because I got in my head that it was like 4-5 weeks or something. And I was like, that's quite a decrepit looking ship for that amount of time. And where are all the people?
Yeah.
Where's
that's
all
the thing.
blood?
When we when we do eventually get on the Prometheus, there is no one on it. And it's only been 4 months.
Yeah. But
I say no
person
one
gets on the Kerberos.
It is quite similar to Dark in that sense, isn't it? In that at the end of the first episode, you've got this mysterious figure who has come out of the odd, the supernatural element. In the case of Dark, he was coming out the cave, and in the case of this, he comes out of the ship, swims to the Kerberos, climbs up, and then goes into the room which is next door to Mora's. So that sort of implies he knows. Well, I'd say it implies that he knows where she is, but it could just be he's picked a random room. But he does let those bugs go. There's a weird bug that he brings over with him. We're also forgetting that there is someone on the Prometheus. They open up a cupboard and the little lad from Haunting of Bly Manor is in it. So I was like, is that guy? But he holds up a stone pyramid. And that's like, it's quite Lovecraftian image, that stone pyramid, like an artifact of something that you don't fully understand where it comes from. And it comes from, the great ones or the old ones before.
Yeah.
It's described here as a tetrahedron.
Yeah, I guess it's just
It was a triangular pyramid.
Yeah. I think it's... Is it a tetrahedron because it's not just a pyramid, but it's got like the base that slopes back on itself a little bit.
It has 4 triangular faces, 6 straight edges, and 4 vertex corners. The simplest of all the ordinary convex polyhedra, and the only one that has fewer than 5 faces.
Ooh, that's some learning for you.
There you go, and maths lesson as well.
Now we can call ourselves educational.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch more of this.
Yeah, the trouble is, I don't know what. There's not a lot more to say because it's good. Don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, like any good mystery, it gives you just enough to keep you asking, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah, and the brilliance of it, it's not a weekly show, so you don't have to think about it for a week. You have to think about it for. How long does it take for Netflix to just autoplay the next one?
And it's also only 8 episodes long.
Yeah. Although I can see it says number of seasons, and it worries me that there's going to be a season 2.
Well, the creators have ideas for 2 more seasons. I'm reliably informed here by Wikipedia.
Oh, yes, him. I know his work very well.
Yeah.
Got me to
so
he did.
I really, really liked 1899. I was really impressed by it, so very pleased to have watched that.
I mean, I think we both knew that we were probably both going to like it, because I think I saw in the trailer I saw from the creators of Dark, and I was like, oh, well,
yep,
that's a big tick.
That's a win. So from 1899 to Archive 81.
Ah, yes, the other What the Fuck is Going On show.
A series based on the podcast of the same name. And that's something that will appear on something that we make very, very soon, I'm sure.
Are we making telly?
Yep. I'll say when they make a TV show of co-pilots.
Oh, wow. That's going to be post-Watershed. We say gun a lot.
We do. I was gutted about this. I really, really wanted to like this, but I mentioned pacing before when talking about 1899 and Archive 81. The pacing, I feel like, was just too slow. Like, I don't mind shows that take their time, but this, like, it really took too much time, to be honest. I was genuinely quite bored, which is a real shame.
Because I thought it was in quite a hurry.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I might admit that I didn't have my full attention on it because I was also building Legos.
Oh, right.
Boba Fett ship, to be precise.
Well, that sounds like a really good kit, and it sounds like that, whoever gave you the Boba Fett ship is someone who you should, I'm not saying reimburse, but someone that you should at least appreciate.
Oh no, I appreciate him. He has got a Christmas coming.
Oh, fuck. Right, so
and no
on
one
paper,
in the UK can buy Attack of the Clones anymore.
on paper, this should be, made for me. It's a guy restoring creepy old videotapes, and it's based on a podcast, and it's in New York, and it's a spooky thing, and that ticks so many of my boxes that I was absolutely gutted for this to just bore me to tears.
I was just looking I was looking at the genre and it's listed as analog horror.
Yeah, analog horror is a funny little genre. I think it kind of started in
this is saying
YouTube
it's an offshoot of found footage.
Yeah, so do you remember like Marble Hornets and stuff like that? I think that probably... Would that be classed in the same sort of thing? But like The Ring and Blair Witch Project.
Channel Zero.
Channel Zero.
Oh, so is it kind of like that? It's a horror based on another media, essentially.
Kind of, but like more specifically with analog horror, it's things like videotapes and stuff that before you had sort of digital moving images. So it would be like, like we have in the show, we have reels of film and cassette tapes and videotapes and that sort of thing. So I guess it's about the idea that evil can be captured within analog signals better than it can in digital signals, I suppose. Which is a really cool concept. This just bored the arse off me.
Yeah. I'm interested. I might watch some more of this as well. I wasn't as into this as I was into 1899. I think purely because I don't really care about the girl in the tapes, which I feel is kind of important. I'm interested in the weird house. I just don't care that she appears to be in some sort of trouble because I'm just like, yeah, you're not in the modern day bit, so I don't care. You're dead.
The other thing is I found it... I'm not sure how effective it is if it's going for an analog horror thing to actually set part of the show within the reality of Melody film. Do you know what I mean? Like to actually show her... To show her sort of reality in anything other than self-shot, handheld video footage. Do you know what I mean? Like, I find it weird.
It'd be like if we watched, if you're watching Deadstream and you just saw it from like someone else's point of view.
Yeah, if it broke the reality and was like, it put an actual, a cameraman in the space where she is supposedly filming from the past. Do you know? I feel like I'm not wording this correctly.
No, I know what you mean. If it
having
turned it from
set from the perspective of
it'd be like seeing Peep Show from the outside.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I just feel like that was a bit of a misstep because I feel like that sort of analog horror, the sort of the evil within the celluloid story, really holds its strength in only showing you the images from that celluloid. That's why the scariest bits of something like Sinister are the tapes the reels of film that Ethan Hawke finds in the attic. As soon as the entity comes out and is in what the film presents as the real world, it just loses all power. The scariest bits is watching something you're not supposed to be seeing, And that's where the power lies in the horror of it. So then to be brought into that reality, it completely dispelled any sort of interest I had in it.
Yeah, I sort of wonder if it's not maybe necessarily driving down the pure like horror side of it. I think it's also pre-actively going for like there is something that ties
the two of them together.
Because obviously his dad rocks up at the end and he's just like, Dad? But yeah, and also like there's something just quite, the overall setting's quite, it's very like Ex Machina, where he's taken away to like a remote place to.
Oh my god, that's what it was. Yeah. Now that you've said that, it's just dislodged something in my head that goes, yeah, that's where I was picking up on that sort of analogy.
Yeah,
analogous.
But and it's weird because there are other people around, but like they don't, and there's no interact, and it's just the whole vibe of like where he currently is doing all this video editing is weird. The stuff in the videotapes is like, I want to almost say like boilerplate horror. Like it's nothing unusual.
Yeah.
It's very, this
Cookie
house
cutter.
is weird and spooky. Here is a weird and spooky person who lives here. Here are the men in black, although they're men in boiler suits, but you know, still get an MIB out of it, so it doesn't matter. And it's the interesting bit of the videotape story seems to be what in the fuck is going on. But like in the modern day, you've got a parallel story of like what the fuck is going on. And it's quite, they're weirdly parallel, except she's in like a sort of, I guess, semi-derelict apartment building, and he's in like this state-of-the-art video editing lab with people just about being like, oh no cell phones.
It really, really does pain me to say I just didn't like it at all, because some of the episodes were directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, and they are making some of the most interesting horror-inflected sci-fi films at the minute. Like, they are doing really incredible stuff. So it's a shame that I don't think I'm going to get to those episodes, because they are phenomenal at what they do. I think they did some Moon Knight episodes as well, actually.
Moon Knight was really good.
Yeah, I didn't really go for it. I'm just done with Marvel. I really think that's it now. I'm just done with it.
Shouldn't have got a Spider-Man tattoo then, should you?
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, Archive 81. I mean, I'll tell you what it does make me want to do is listen to the podcast, because you know I'm not sure how many TV shows there are that are based on podcasts. Like there was that Law that's an Amazon Prime show now, isn't there? That started as a podcast.
There was God Friended Me. There's a podcast element to that, I think.
We've done that, haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah,
so
I
I've
remember
seen
that.
the first episode.
Yeah, it's a real shame, but you know, I mean, of the two, 1899 stands out head and shoulders above.
I think it is
Archive
definitely the
81.
better of the two shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
think I'll
I'd-
probably keep watching both of them. Probably 1899 first.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to carry on watching 1899.
Yeah. I'm just reading the last line of this. It's revealed that Dan is being watched, and I was like, meh, that is not a thing.
It's
that
not a
you would
huge
ever question.
reveal. I mean,
You'd be
that's
like,
the thing. If you've got
yes.
a weird, you've got a strange corporate entity. Like, yeah, of course he's being watched.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess what Archive 81 doesn't do is innovate. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, actually. Yeah, you're 100% right. It doesn't do much original.
I suppose the only maybe real step is that he's editing. Like, rather than just stumbling across, he's been asked and instructed specifically to look at them by people who've looked into his background. So maybe there's probably something more sinister there, but I mean, there's definitely something more sinister there. It's like the people who are watching him, but because I quite like the piano riff that is in his memories and in the videotapes he's watching, and it seems in his case it's a precursor to their house burning down, his whole family dying, which I had half forgotten about. But it's weird because it's a short one, and we've had two pretty solid shows. One that we both really liked, but there's just not a lot to say about it without.
Other than, because this is it. Because the mastery of it is we don't know much more than we knew going in. Other than everyone is lying, everyone's pretending to be someone they're not, everyone's running from something. There's someone who's come from the ship onto the other ship. There's a strange, almost alien-looking object, and everyone's missing from the Prometheus. That's really not that much to go on.
No. Wait, can we? But maybe we could speculate. Have some guesses.
I don't think there's any point doing it because it's going to be something so weird. Like, okay, they're in a computer program. It's the Matrix.
At the end, like in episode 8, Keanu Reeves just turns up for no reason. That's the thing. I did have an idea for I guess a couple special episodes. We'd have to find TV shows that we'd never watched before, but we watch the first episode, record our thoughts on it, and speculate as to what might happen in the finale. Then watch the none finale. Of the rest, and just watch the finale.
I'm well up for doing that. Oh, let's plumb a few of them in for next year. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, and it means that we can slow down because we might run out of TV shows at some point.
I don't think we will. I think there's enough TV shows to keep us going. Well, they keep fucking churning them out, so.
Yeah. No, that's true. But you won't let me put Marvel shows in anymore, so. Also, it's more that I don't see the point in putting them anymore because I'm going to enjoy them. And what do you pair a Marvel show with?
Star Wars.
Yeah, but I've watched the first episode of Andor and I didn't like it.
Apparently it's really good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've heard since.
Stick with it.
The rest of it's really good.
Yeah. I think, does that bring us to a close of the traditional episodes for Series 7?
It does indeed.
Well, that means we've only got one thing to do, which is record our top 5, which will be the next episode you hear out of us. And that's coming out. So
New Year's Eve, as always.
New Year's Eve, as always.
Just, got to sneak it in. It comes out, actually, early enough that you can listen to it and you'll still have a whole New Year's Eve party because... Or you can listen to it with your friends. But all individually. All individually, so we get the downloads.
Yes, please. Right, we'll see you in the top 5.
Yeah.